In our Western world, emotions are divided into negative and positive, in which pleasurable emotions are viewed as positive and painful emotions are considered negative. But in classic Buddhist psychology, the distinction between negative and positive emotions does not even exist. In Buddhist terms, it is not about whether an emotion is pleasurable or painful. The distinction rather differentiates between emotions that are beneficial for you and those which are harmful. And this is so important to understand because we all know from personal experience negative emotions and painful emotions like stress, exhaustion and pressure. But under specific circumstances, those emotions can be very beneficial for us and therefore should be respected and even desired by us. Without resistance and hardships, people are handicapped basically, because they unconsciously are unwilling to go through anything to pursue something meaningful. Two of the biggest factors for success are resilience and discipline. Both of them can only be learned through setbacks, failure and difficulties. And equally important is also the fact that this is true the other way around. Not only can our so-called negative emotions be beneficial for us, but there are also emotions which are directly linked to pleasure that can be very harmful and destructive. One of the best examples for this is a recent development in modern history, which is the porn addiction of millions of people around the world. Despite the fact that the obtained state of being is pleasure and satisfaction, the consequences of this behavior are destructive and heavily underestimated. There are several studies which clearly indicate and show how harmful this behavior over a long period of time truly is. How it affects your dopaminergic system, which is responsible for your motivation and drive. Both of them will be heavily reduced because your organism will logically calculate that it is not necessary to invest huge resources into pursuing a difficult goal, a meaningful goal, when your system knows how easy it is to receive pleasure immediately without investing resources. This distinction between mental states which are harmful to our well-being and others, and those which promote well-being and survival can be very useful, since it is directly linked to our pursuit of happiness and gives clarity on how to live a life where the laws of nature work for you, not against you. Given the fact that people come from very different cultural backgrounds, it is profoundly beneficial to establish a universal understanding on which states are to be considered destructive and harmful, and those which are beneficial and desirable. Generally, we can define destructive emotions as those states which threaten our well-being and those of others long term. They create inner turmoil, undermine our ability to practice self-control, and will eventually deprive us from our mental freedom. Beneficial emotions will do the opposite. They ensure that your needs and those of others will be taken care of, and they will increase your self-confidence and self-efficacy through practicing discipline and self-control, which will ultimately promote mental freedom. Equally important is the duality aspect of every single emotion, the yin-yang of emotions, if you will, because every single emotion has a destructive and non-destructive side. For example, fear. Fear is necessary and beneficial for our survival. For example, if a wolf is running at you, we need to respond to that with absolute clarity and urgency for our survival. But in contrast to that, unreasonable fear occurs when the source of our threat is not truly existing and only our mental projection. Or we take doubt as a different emotion. It certainly is useful to have doubt, and a dose of skepticism is quite healthy for each and every one of us, especially in our day and age, because it opens up our mind to questioning and new knowledge. However, when doubt becomes pathological, it paralyzes us and will prevent us from taking any decisive action. The comfort of our technological inventions has provided us with tremendous benefits, but it has also created a mentality that so many people tend to live by, in which every emotion that is negative or painful is avoided out of comfort, basically embracing the comfort zone. But as a consequence of that, the fruits of unpleasant and even painful emotions cannot be harvested. I hope that this video gave clarity on the duality of emotions, and may you use that knowledge for not only your own benefit, but for the benefit of all.